What's happening, guys? So, I'm going to be making this video because, as you see in the title, FA Cup winners should also get Champions League football, not second to fourth. Now, some of you might think, well, why are you talking about FA Cup winners when Arsenal aren't even going to win the FA Cup this season because we're out the FA Cup, because we got knocked out by Man City because we didn't take the FA Cup seriously? Well, I'll tell you why. Because when the standards of the football club is let's just get top four, at least we're going to get top four, blah, 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 blah. You have no desire to really be a true winner, to earn your place in a competition with a title champions in it, right? In my humble opinion, other than the league champions, because that's by default, right? Nobody else deserves to be in the Champions League unless you've won something, basically. Because champions, should be in that competition, not participants. I mean, not people who failed, not people who fell short. Now, let me explain how I think that this should go, right? I'll say whoever wins the league in respective competition leagues around the world will go in the Champions League. That's a given. That's how it's going to be. If you finish second, you get nothing, right? Maybe Europa League playoff at best, right? Obviously, League Cup winners, the English League Cup, they get Europa League. I'd say that's fair, right? Third, third don't deserve anything, and fourth definitely don't deserve anything. You know what I mean? Maybe third should get the conference or something like that. You didn't quite make it to the Champions side, so we'll put you in the Europa League or the conference, Europa Conference or whatever it's called, right? Fourth shouldn't get anything. Fifth, nothing. Sixth, nothing. Seventh, nothing. They don't deserve anything like that, right? If you win the FA Cup, in my opinion, you should at least have to qualify for the Champions League. Like if you finish fourth, then you get to the qualifying stages, right? How it should be is if you win the FA Cup, because FA Cup winners get Europa League anyway, right? Which makes sense because Europa League is the second best European competition, blah, 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 blah. But why do fourth place deserve to have a shot at the Champions League while FA Cup winners don't? You know what I mean? FA Cup winners should get the playoffs of the Champions League. And if they don't make it, just throw them into Europa League because they're guaranteed that anyway, regardless of what happens, right? That's how it should be. Now, if a team was to finish, if a team was to win the league and FA Cup double, then the automatic Champions League place would then fall for second. Just like second place goes into the Community Shield if the team above them wins a double or something like that. FA Cup second place finish in the league with the team above you winning a double, then you'd get. I would say you would have to then qualify. You know what I mean? It'll go to you. That's how it should be. You know what I mean? The FA Cup competition, with it being an oldest competition, with it being what the title used to be, it doesn't have the spark anymore, right? It doesn't have the spark. The layouts of the FA Cup, having replays and stuff like that, it's killed it now. You know what I mean? It's one of them things where it's either you scrap the replays or you make it more exciting, right? Getting a shot at Champions League football makes it more exciting. You know what I mean? But no, second place do not deserve Champions League football. Third place do not deserve Champions League football. Fourth place do not deserve Champions League football. It's called Champions League, right? And this is an Arsenal fan saying this. And I'm not saying this just because we're top, because I don't believe we're going to win the league anyway, right? But at the same time, I don't want us to be playing in a competition we don't deserve to be in because we're not a champion to even be in there. You know what I mean? You've got clubs now that you've got fans, particularly Man U and Arsenal fans, that have dropped their standards to where we're happy with top four. Whereas if you have the FA Cup being that's your way of getting in, you would want to win a trophy to get in. See how that works? It becomes, I'd rather finish within top four, second to fourth, right? Not win anything, then win the FA Cup, not finish in that place. You see what it's done? You know what I mean? So no. Second to fourth place do not deserve Champions League football. With Europa League, obviously Europa League winners, they get Champions League football anyway. That's understandable. But if anything, second place should have to qualify for that. And then third place should have to qualify or they'll get Europa Conference or something like that. Because you didn't quite make it. You know what I mean? Now I know that'll have it so that there isn't as much Champions League places. But something needs to be in place where, you at least need to be a champion to be in there. And if not, then you're going to have to bust your ass to get in. Because somebody's going to get in. But second and third, just getting straight into the Champions League, that's bullshit, in my opinion. And then fourth has to qualify. Yeah, FA Cup winners just get Europa League. They don't even get a chance to even be like, oh, maybe we can do something in the Champions League. Nope. You might as well call it the European Cup again. You might as well call it the European Cup. You know what I mean? How can you rename it Champions League and then you don't have to be a champion to be in it? It's stupid. It's dumb. You know what I mean? That's why you have Arsenal fans, you have Man U fans, and whoever that have these standards of top four. And it's easy to fall in that trap when you've been deprived. Because Man U have been deprived since the last won the league. Arsenal have been deprived since the last time we won the league. So it became, oh, well, it's so hard, but we're lucky to get top four. No. And that mentality needs washing out of Arsenal. That kind of mentality needs washing out of Arsenal Football Club. You know what I mean? Because now you've got fans that are just like, oh, you get top four. You know what I mean? And then the club has no ambition to strive for any better. You know what I mean? You look at the biggest clubs in the world, right? As soon as they draw a game, fans are on their case because they have standards. You know what I mean? It's just madness. You know what I mean? I honestly, if we don't win the league, we really do not deserve to be in the Champions League because we're not. The only way we deserve to be in it is by winning the Europa League. If we don't win the league, otherwise, none of that. Don't deserve to be in it. Do not deserve to be in it. Not at all. No way. Jose Enrique. No. You know what I mean? We do not deserve it. Hell no! You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Because the standards need washing out. Those low ass, goofy ass, bookie ass standards. Let's just get top four. You know what I mean? How about let's win the FA Cup? How about let's be fighting for the league? You know what I mean? How about let's be a champion so we can play in the Champions League? Whatever happened to that? You know what I mean? We already, when we had Arsene Wenger turning around saying that, finishing fourth is a trophy. Couldn't believe it myself. Couldn't believe that shit myself. You know what I mean? About finishing fourth as a trophy. You know what I mean? I mean, what's highlighted was since he left, we've seen how difficult it is to get into the top four. You know what I mean? But realistically, for a club like Arsenal, it should never have been our standard to just get top four. Last season, we tried to get top four. It looked like we were going to get it. Didn't get it. And I knew we weren't going to get it. Said it all along last season. I was telling people we are not getting top four this season. Said it last season. You know what I mean? And we will probably bottle the league title in the same manner that we bottled top four of last season. You know what I mean? Bear in mind, we moved into this stadium, right? We moved into the Emirates. And we were told we're going to compete with Real Madrid and all them, man. You know what I mean? But we've moved in. And since then, we've had Wenger saying that when he was manager, top four is a trophy. You know what I mean? That in itself was a sackable offence. You know what I mean? How can you not want to... this is the thing. This is why they should have had the FA Cup be that prize of you at least have to qualify. You know what I mean? Maybe Wenger would have won the FA Cup every season. You know what I mean? But there's no point dwelling on the past. The point I'm making of this video is if you're not a champion, you don't deserve to be in the FA Cup. Facts. You don't deserve it. And this is coming from an Arsenal fan. Don't deserve it. So if we don't win the league and we don't win Europa League either, nope. We should not be. We will be falsely in a competition. You know what I mean? We'll be falsely in a competition, playing amongst, you got champions in that competition. You know what I mean? And we're playing amongst them just for participating in the league, basically. You know what I mean? Should we not win it? Now, we are competing, but nothing says we'll even finish second at this rate. We've got Man U 5 points behind us, right? City are only 3 points behind us. If City beat us on Wednesday, they go top on goal difference. It is looking goofy right now. You know what I mean? It's looking bare goofy. But nah, I stand on what I say. You know what I mean? If you disagree, leave it in the comments. But only champions should be in the Champions League. If you're not winning anything, you don't deserve to be in the Champions League. You don't deserve it. You know what I mean? I've always thought to myself, FA Cup winners should at least get something of Champions League. Because think about it, the FA Cup is the second biggest English trophy, right? It's the second best, right? That's why the league title winners and the FA Cup winners play in the Community Shield. The first and second best play in the Community Shield. There's a reason why League Cup winners don't get into the Community Shield. See, people downplay the Community Shield. I think it's bigger than what people make out, personally. Because end of the day, if you're the champion of something, right, and somebody's the second tier champion of something, right, the ultimate face-off is, okay, you were the best in that competition, I'm the best in this competition, so let's go head to head. Winner takes all kind of thing. That's how I see the Community Shield. So if Arsenal are in the Community Shield, I want us to win it. I don't see the Community Shield as, it's just a friendly. No. You know what I mean? It's still a final. It might only be a shield, but I value the Community Shield because of how you get in there. I might have to make that separate video, but personally, Community Shield to me, right, is bigger than what it is to most people, in my opinion. Because you have to be a champion of some sort to be in there. If not, finish second because the team above you won the FA Cup and League double. You know what I mean? You don't get in Community Shield just for chilling about like you get into the Champions League. You know what I mean? That's the thing. You can't even get into the Community Shield without having to at least win. But you can play in the Champions League and you don't have to be a champion. Work that out. Yet the Community Shield gets downplayed. The Community Shield gets downplayed. You can only be in a Community Shield if you've won the league or the FA Cup. But if you win both, then it will fall to second. That's the only way you're getting in Community Shield. 3 different ways. But Champions League, you don't even have to be a champion to be in there. You participate. You can be chilling 6th all season and then scrape 4th, and you'll be playing in the Champions League. But the Community Shield is downplayed by most people. You know what I mean? Even the FA Community Shield value that competition of just the one final more than the Champions League value the Champions League. You know? But people want to say, Community Shield is just a shield. It's nothing. At least they respect their shit. You know what I mean? At least they respect what the business is. You have to be a champion to play in the Community Shield. You can't get in otherwise. But if you do get in without being a champion, that's because the team above you won both trophies and you finished second. It's the only way you're getting in. But it's the only way you're getting in without winning anything. Otherwise, for the most part, teams aren't going to do that league and FA Cup double for the most part. They're not. So you have to win something. But Champions League, you can just participate. Bam, you're in. You know what I mean? But if I'm in the Community Shield, I want to win it. Like, no excuse to lose it. You know what I mean? Now, with the Community Shields, Arsenal have been quite good in it. We've won like what since the Premier League, we've won like 98% of the Community Shields we've been in. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that we're going to be in a Community Shield for next season because we might not win the league. You know what I mean? But if we could finish second and City might win a double, that's the only way we get in. Otherwise, you know what I mean? Like the Super Cup, the Champions League winners, Europa League winners. Champions League is you're the best in Europe. Europa League, you are the second best in Europe. So it's only fair that you two go head to head for the ultimate prize, really. Again, the Super Cup that gets downplayed. You know what I mean? It gets downplayed. I'm probably one of the only Arsenal fans that doesn't downplay the Community Shield. I'm probably one of the only Arsenal fans that I take that seriously like any other final. You know what I mean? Because how you get in. You don't get in for being a pony all season, like the Champions League. Now, I'm not trying to downplay the Champions League, but they've downplayed that competition to a degree where you don't have to be a champion to be in it, despite they've named it Champions League. Weird. You know what I mean? But the Community Shield, they respect that more. Anyways, you know what? I'm done. Like the video, share the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, follow all the socials, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will no doubt be the match preview for tomorrow's game, Wednesday's game against Manchester City. Oh boy. Anyways, catch you in a bit. Peace.